Stay hydrated. All right, how's everybody doing? I get the pleasure of introducing Anthony Tucker, our new wideouts coach. Coach Tucker and I have worked together twice at two previous institutions. We worked together at Arkansas State University, and then worked again together at the University of Maryland. Since that time, that was kind of the last time that we were together. He's went on to become a co-coordinator and then a coordinator, did a fantastic job, had an unbelievable offense his first year at Utah State. Last year, got really beat up at the quarterback position, but still found a way to a bowl game with his third and fourth string quarterback. He's a great person. He's a great evaluator. I think one of the things that Anthony does a fantastic job of is the in-person evaluation in the recruiting process. On top of being, a really good recruiter, great rapport with student athletes, and I think most importantly is he does a great job with the development, of the players in his room. Whether that be running backs when he and I were together, the quarterbacks he had at Utah State, our wideouts now. He's always done a great job with young developmental talent. So really excited to have him here, to have him with us. We feel great about our offensive staff. With the addition of Coach Bostad, now with Coach Tucker, to go along with Coach Wright and Coach Johnson. So we're really excited. Start spring ball here really soon. This weekend, as a matter of fact. But appreciate you guys. And then other than that, am I open for questions?
Anthony.
Oh, Anthony.
Now we'll open it up.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Well, obviously, really excited to be here, and enjoying Coach Allen's staff. He's put together a great staff. I haven't been here very long, but been very, very impressed. With how Coach Allen runs his program. I do have familiarity with Coach Allen. Actually, last time I was here in Bloomington, we took a nice L to Coach Allen. So, I've always had great respect for how he runs his program and the way his players play. And just in the short time that I've had opportunity to spend time with him, just a lot of like-minded things that he believes in, a lot of the same things that I believe in. So, again, just really, really excited to be here.
All right, we'll start with Mason. Say who you are and who you work for, and then we'll go to Ken.
Nice to meet you, Coach. My name is Mason Williams with thehoosier.com. I'm curious on the conversations with Coach Allen during this process. What was it like, and what about his pitch to you drew you to Indiana the most?
I think just, the biggest thing is I believe in investing in people. Everyone in the process of getting to know someone, they're gonna, you have a point of reference when you're speaking to someone, and then also, the longer you are in this profession, the circles are smaller. So, I couldn't find anyone to say anything different than what I was led to believe, conversations that I had with Coach Allen. And I truly believe in people. People will make or break your experience, just in life in general. I think, from my assessment, he's about the right things, how he builds his program, how he invests in young people. And I believe a lot of the same things. So, football aside, obviously there's the football checks and balances and things you need to go through to make sure that you're a good fit. But I really believe it's about people, and that's the thing that most impressed me about it.
All right, Ken in the back, and Pete.
Ken Bykoff, Pigs.com. Coaching in various conferences, different styles, having to deal with multiple quarterbacks last year. What did you learn, or what have you learned about being able to adjust on the fly depending on the personnel that might be under center at that point?
I mean, that's really important. You have to be able to, each week is independent of the last with next. You're facing, if you're thinking of it offensively, you're facing a lot of different things. There's more and more defenses that are getting thrown at you. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, players make plays. So sometimes you have to know when to pull back. You have to understand, what your personnel is and what they can't do and what they can do really well. So, just throughout my experience, different conferences, different levels and things like that, you want to give yourself the best chance to, first and foremost, for your players to have success, and ultimately be able to have team success, be able to play complementary football in some ways, and being able to, tuck your ego at times. I think, to do what's best for the team situationally and as a whole. So there's always a ton of, no matter how long you do this, there's a ton of learning lessons in that regard to personnel. It's a year-round deal, you know, so it doesn't matter who you are, you're gonna have attrition. If you can't make adjustments, you're willing to make adjustments, you're gonna be uphill a lot. So there's not a team in the country that hasn't dealt with attrition on every level.
All right, Pete, on your left and second.
Anthony, Pete Premier with IU Athletics. Kind of a two-part question. Well, not kind of, it is a two-part. First off, the fact you've coached everything except offensive line, I think. How much of an advantage does that give you? And then if you can kind of maybe describe your overall offensive philosophy.
I think, you know what, I've been fortunate to have the opportunity to coach a bunch of different positions. You know, there are times where, you know, there's some guys that have coached the same position their entire career. I think just being given the opportunity throughout my career to coach different positions and to gain knowledge in different areas has allowed me, you know, a broader spectrum of being able to put the picture together a little bit, you know, it giving me a lot more perspective. At the end of the day, it's 11 guys working together. So with that experience, I have a better gauge on how the pieces fit. Offensive philosophy is score points, don't turn the ball over, you know, explosives, whatever that looks like. Just going back to the previous question, you know, there's times where that's just gonna look different, you know. Sometimes you can spread it out, throw it all over the yard based off what a defense is giving you. At times, maybe you're in a tempo offense. At other times, you know, maybe you're in a different personnel and you're running the football. And so I think it's just a matter of, you know, understanding what your identity is as an offense, the things you can and can't do, and what gives you the best opportunity on Saturday. You know, score points, you know, don't turn the ball over, and come out with a win.
All right, Seth in front, then Kevin.
Hi, Seth Tao with the Daily Hoosier. This question's for Walt, actually. Just having Anthony come in as co-offensive coordinator, just how is that going to impact, I guess, this organizational structure within the offense, and I guess how are the offensive coordinator duties kind of split up?
No, I think first and foremost, just how excited and happy I am, you know, because and first things first, like Adam Henry did an incredible job, and he's a great football coach, and there's a reason he's with the Buffalo Bills. Okay, and so I don't want to heap amount of praise that would make anybody feel like that Adam didn't do it. Adam was incredible, okay, and there's a reason why he got to go back to that level of football and have a chance to win the Super Bowl. But that being said, you know, Anthony and I have a great rapport. We've worked together for a long time. We've done a lot of the same similar things from a systematic standpoint. I've got ultimate faith and trust that when we go into those meetings and we have hard choices to make, like, it's an opinion I know that's unbiased and it's what's best for the organization and the team and the offense in general. You know, and that's an unbelievable feeling, you know, when our offensive staff, like, we've got great camaraderie, you know, and who am I to tell Bob Bostad that that's not the way that we need to do it? Who am I to tell Anthony that who 2 years ago had one of the best offenses in America, that's not the way to do it? You know, and so we've got a great staff, great camaraderie, and it's only gonna make us better as a football team.
All right, Kevin in the front, then Luke.
How you doing, Coach? Kevin Farrell, thehoosier.com. You guys have worked in two places before, but how would you describe your relationship with Coach Bell on the field, offensively?
You know, it's what he said, man. We worked together for so long, and you've coached so many games together. And the extent of our, you know, when you spend a lot of time together as coaches, it's not just the relationship, and it extends beyond the football field. So there's great chemistry there. He and I are going to be on the same page. You know, sometimes unspoken because we've done it together before, and then we're going to be able to, you know, to explore new things together. You know, this game is constantly evolving. We're both evolving in this profession. No matter how long you're in it, you should be in this game in that respect. But first and foremost, man, we just have great chemistry working together. Familiarity is really important. You know, there's more recall than introducing new things, you know what I mean? And as we, you know, move forward and explore new things together, you know, that makes it easier there because the lines of communication have already been established.
Luke on your right, and Zach.
Also Norton, recruiting coordinator. I was wanting to ask, obviously you're going to be working with the wide receivers, but what do you tend to look for from the quarterback equation as far as just like
quarterback?
Yeah.
That's his job. I'm gonna focus on those receivers. Yeah, I mean, that's really a question for him. You know, I'm gonna coach the receivers, and he's gonna coach the quarterbacks. Yeah.
Zach, hold on a second. We'll bring it to you.
Hey Anthony, I'm Zach Green with Hoosier Huddle. I know you just got here, but we have like a reasonably, veteran group with Cam Camper, Donovan McCauley, and as well as the addition of EJ Williams. Film-wise, what has stood out about these guys, and what excites you about them going into the season?
I think there's been from what I've seen, there's been a great foundation that's been laid here, with those guys. And just like anything else, when you build there's a foundation, that house hasn't taken shape yet. You don't know exactly what it's gonna be. But the foundation is really strong. I haven't been here very long, but in my limited time here, I've been really pleased with what I've seen from these guys and being around them, and transition is harder for those guys generally than it is for us. But I've just been really, really pleased with I feel very, very welcome. I've had opportunity to see these guys work a little bit, and like I said, there's been a great foundation here. I'm really excited to get going with these guys, and spring ball's right here. So.
Mason, front, and Pete.
Anthony, going back to what Walt said in his opening remarks about you, you said you're a great evaluator. He praised your ability to develop the talent that's in your room. When you look at, I guess, the wide receiver room that you have now, when you, I guess, are looking at any position you've been in, what is the first aspect that you look for and say, okay, this is how we need to improve this is where we need to get better? I guess, how do you go about your development process?
I think it's just person to person. Everyone's different. Everyone has different needs and things like that. There's things that guys, tend to do naturally that they're good at. You want to kind of help them continue to polish those things, and then provide a direction for them to improve on the things that they need improvement on. At the end of the day, these guys want to be coached, and a lot of that piece has to do with the relationship building and trust and things like that. You have to build trust with guys, so that they allow you to coach them. It is a privilege for us, that they allow us to coach them. So I can't step in the door on day one and expect, that bridge to automatically be gapped, right? So, but at the end of the day, I have to get to know each one of these guys individually, and not just as a football player, but on an individual level. You got to invest in the whole person in order to get the most out of them on the football field. That's what our role is. We're here and we're invested in the entire person in order to get to the ins and outs, the drill work, all the different things that attack their needs and attack the things that they need to improve on it as far as developing as a football player.
Pete, are you left fish?
Walt, hello. From your perspective, what's the next step for this offense? What do you want to see, in spring practice and obviously moving forward?
First things first, you got to run the ball better. And you're already starting to see some inklings of that. Now, we've done nothing competitive, but just in individual work, the small amount of limited things that we're able to do with our kids by NCAA rules this time of year before we really get going on Saturday. But we've got to be much more explosive running the football. I think the second thing that we have to do is Jalen Lucas has to become an absolute multi-purpose toy that can never come off the field. And a year ago that was really hard because 18-year-old brand new freshman, learning the ins and outs of pass protection. Now we feel great about pass protection. Now it's how many places can we possibly put him so he can get his hands on the football. And that's a lot of mental stress. This will be the first time in his life where he's really been in a position as player. And then I think number three, we're going to have an unbelievable competition quarterback. Just having these three guys in pre-spring drills, like all three of them are really good football players. All three of them have different skills. All of them are athletic. Haven't seen him throw a ball live yet. But obviously, I know Brennan can throw. I've seen Brock play in person as a high school player, and we'll very soon see Tatum Jackson throw a full pass. you know, but all three of those guys, we're gonna have great competition. But I think running the football, doing everything we can mentally to prepare Jalen, quarterback competition, and then ultimately, you know, we gotta take a next step as a wideout group. You know, and I honestly think that, you know, with Cam Camper's injury situation and his ability where he's going to be able to kind of sit and watch, it's going to force more development. I think that's really going to help the wideout group as well.
Fish and then Ken in the back, wrap it up.
This is kind of a question for both you guys. You worked together before. What was the relationship like then? Who was a hair above the other guy, that kind of thing? And what was it like, and how did you develop your rapport?
I'll go first. All right, the ultimate truth is, okay, I become the offensive coordinator at Arkansas State University. Blake Anderson's the head football coach, and this is probably way more truth than I should tell you. Okay, so we get that job. My brother Luke, who's now the special teams coordinator at Lafayette's the wideouts coach. Glenn Allenby's now the O-line coach. Tennessee's gonna be the O-line coach. We all play together. We know each other, and I know who that running backs coach is gonna be, and it ain't him. Okay. And we get there, and Blake Anderson says, Anthony Tucker's going to be our running backs coach. I was here for the entirety of bowl prep. I got to see everybody coach, and we are idiots if we don't keep him on this staff. Okay? So begrudgingly, we have to hire this guy. Okay? And then probably over the next 4 years, between our 2 years together at Arkansas State and 2 years at Maryland, best friends, like, I love this guy. I cannot wait to coach again with this guy, you know, and so that was the truth. You know, it was a complete accident, and it's one of the best accidents that ever happened to me in this profession. Professionally, as a football coach, and as a person.
You feel the same way, Anthony?
I do, and that is a true story, because I remember the first time I had a conversation, you know, I called him, he didn't call me, and he was doing his laundry, and and I'm trying to, you know, hey man, this is Anthony Tucker. He's, hey man, I'm doing laundry now, I'll call you back. So, but no, it's been obviously, again, I said this before, you know, the 4 years that we worked together, I mean, and we've spent time apart, and our relationship has, you know, we're talking football, we're talking scheme, we're talking, you know, when I met, you know, when I left, he didn't have any kids, and he wasn't married. I show up, I walk in the door, you know, it's Uncle Tuck, you know, so, you know, our relationship hasn't stopped, whether we work together, whether we do, whether we don't, and so, like I said, we have good chemistry, you know, defines of professionalism, and when we step in the building, we both, you know, I understand what he's trying to accomplish, and that familiarity is always good.
All right, last one, Ken in the back.
Walt, we talked to you about a year ago, roughly a year ago in this room, when you're walking in with fresh eyes. What can you tell him about the program that he's walking into with fresh eyes? And what do you think you can learn from his fresh eyes going the other direction?
Yeah, I think what I could tell him about the program is probably the same thing I tell any coach here, you know, that comes to our place. And everybody that has taken a job here has probably said the same thing. Is the perception of our head football coach is he's an unbelievable man that treats the players and the staff at a level that nobody in this profession does. And what you soon realize is unlike almost anything else in the world, is that the reality is actually greater than the perception. Is that our head football coach is a special man and a really good football coach. You know, like he's elite at both of those things. You know, but I think the thing that's most impressive about our program is our head football coach. You know, that's why I'm here. You know, that's why ultimately we got him to come here. You know, because it's an unbelievable program, opportunity to work for a great man who actually is truly invested in making young people as good as they can possibly be.
And what do you think his fresh eyes can give you?
Just great perspective on things that, you know, obviously he's done it on his own, you know, has some great offenses. You know, I think anytime that you bring in a new set of eyes, a new perspective, new things that you've learned, like we've already had some conversations about some screen game stuff already that, you know, that I want to pick his brain about. I just think anytime there's anyone new, you've always got an opportunity to learn. And Anthony said it best, is this profession, offensive football in general, it is forever evolving. You know, I mean, at the NFL level, at the college level, you know, there's always evolution in what transpires, and, you know, you always want to do everything you can to stay on the front of that, you know, and so just to have anybody new in the building who's had great experience, had great offenses themselves, is gonna help make us all better.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a wonderful day.